Just as we are coming to the end of this whole DV lottery application, there is obviously a lot of things that we need to discuss. But terminology that is used in the DV lottery. For example, case numbers, confirmation numbers, the first notification letter, the second notification letter, and a whole lot more. But if you would love to know more about these things, I have covered these information extensively in my videos. Some I'm still to upload and some I've already uploaded. Now in today's video I'm going to tell you about the case number, everything about case number. What is the case number? When is it allocated? To whom is it allocated? How does your case number affect you? Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Beautiful Chaos, and if it's your first time ever to stop by, welcome and thank you so much for joining. Assumption today is that you have already won the DV lottery. Now if it hasn't come to you yet, keep believing and keep hoping. This is something that can change your life within seconds. This is something that can literally bring all your dreams into life. We have seen it in so many cases. So today I'm just going to tell you about the case numbers. Now what is a case number? Okay, so soon after you win the DV lottery, every winner is allocated a number. These case numbers are assigned by the United States Department of State, and they are used to schedule interviews for each and everybody. So the moment that you get selected, you get assigned this number, which will be used to schedule your interviews. Like, you know, once you win the DV lottery, the process is literally not over. It's like we have moved one step forward, because also you need to remember that you can also have some mistakes, or you can also sleep at the last minute, which is the interview. So aside from winning the DV lottery, you also need to practically make sure that you also do good in the interview. So these numbers, this is what we call the case number. Now, selected case numbers will look something like this, okay? 2020 2A F001234 5, okay? Where 2022 is the program year or the fiscal year, where AF will be standing for Africa, for example, which is the region of the selectee, and then 001234 will be allocated to the person under the selected order. The winner will be called for the interview, like as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 person. I hope you get where I'm going with this. Now these numbers are really valid for a given fiscal draw or a given fiscal year draw only. This means that if you get your confirmation number, this number is only valid for example, now we are in 2024. So if by the time they choose the winners and you are part of the winners, that means the fiscal number, the case number you're going to get is going to be only valid for the fiscal year of 2024, which also directly means that if you have a case number from DV 2023, it cannot be used in DV 2024. This is a whole different thing, so just know that this is it. Now the most confusing thing about all these processes people usually talk about, which is the lowercase number and the uppercase number. Okay, so in this video what I'm going to do, I am going to simply break it down into layman's terms, because I know this terminology is a little bit difficult for some other people. For example, we have a person who has the case number 0000001. Okay, for example, this is the case number we have. This means that the person will be the first to be asked to come to the interview. Okay, now the numbers that are going to be called next are just going to follow up the normal logic, which is 2, 3, 4, 5, blah 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 blah, going on. So this is how basically you can be able to describe case numbers. Okay, so when people now say that you have a lowercase number, it means that you have a better chance, or you have numbers that are lower, like 1, 2, 3. These are the numbers that we call lower. Okay, it doesn't necessarily need to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, but sometimes you can see that 1000 and something is a little bit lower in your region. Okay, so that means that these are the first numbers that are going to be called for interviews in your region. Now, this kind of people who have lowercase numbers, they have high chances of being called for the interviews. Why I say so, I'm going to explain as soon as I tell you what is a high case number. By the way, before I go to high case number, if you haven't watched my video which talks about confirmation number, please make sure you go and watch that video, because the confirmation number is very crucial in this whole process. For us to even get a chance to see your own case number, you have to use the confirmation number to check your results. So if you haven't watched that video, please make sure you go and watch that video. Okay, now let's move on. High case number. Okay, so high case number is directly just the opposite of the lower case number. This means that your number is, let's say if our whole numbers are going to end at 10, that means you have the number 10. Okay, if you have a lowercase number, it means you have number 1. So if you have these numbers that are high up there, this is what we call the high case number. Okay, so in a nutshell, I have number line from 1 to 10. I'm just saying the lowercase numbers are the number 4, 3, 2, 1. The lowest being 1. Okay, the higher case numbers are the 10, 9, 8. The highest being 10. Okay, this just translates, like I've already said, number 1, you're going to be called first for the interview. So what are the disadvantages of having a higher case number is that number 10 may not be called for an interview. Now, this is a very recurring situation. Now, this is something that has happened many times. It's quite sad, but at the same time, it's something that you must understand, and that's something you must grasp. Okay, why there is possibility that number 10 might not get a chance to be called for the interview. Now, what happens is that people, when they are selected for the DV lottery, they are obviously more than the 50,000 visas that are required. So the higher your chances, let's say for example they've selected, like for the first time, 100,000, so the higher your number, that just basically translates that you are going to be way higher. So if the 50,000 visas are already given, let's say, and they have called at least 65,000 people to the interview, because remember, some will be failing along the way. Okay, so maybe they've called 65,000, that means it's unfortunate the rest of the 30,000, they are no longer going to be called for the interview, because the 50,000 visas that were there have already been taken out. So this is what we call a higher case number. Now, someone would ask me, how can I avoid lower case number? How can I get lower case number? How can I avoid case number? Now, there's not a clear distinction as to how you can be able to do that, as these numbers are just allocated by the Department of State. So I don't know if there's a way around it, but since the Department of State is the one that will necessarily do everything, I personally do not think there is a way you can get a lower case number and you can get a higher case number. It's just a matter of luck. It's just something that happens. This is all about case numbers. Now, make sure you go and watch all my other videos about DV lottery. I have got quite a number, and I've also put many of them in the description box so that you can go, and there's a playlist for DV lottery, so it's easy for you to access all the videos. Now, make sure to watch my next video, because I am also going to tell you about what to do as soon as you apply for the DV lottery. So if you are wondering that we have finished applying, what are we supposed to do, I am going to release a new video, so make sure to always check the channel, because the video is coming soon. Now, this is from me to you. See you in my next video.